How are you both?
Good. How are you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
All
Perfect.
right.
Is it just you two joining us today, or will there be, I see Shannon and Matt were also on the list.
They are in the crowd right now, so they're standing in front of me, and they will answer questions appropriately after I do the presentation.
That sounds perfect, thank you. So yeah, you probably remember me from the emails. I'm just going to serve as moderator, and I'm with HeroX. But Darren and Dominique here are our judge representatives from CoinBase, and Tennille is from Base 11. But with that, I'll throw it to you guys for a quick intro if you'd like, or if you just want to jump straight into the presentation, let me know, and I'll kind of start the timer for you guys then. That'll be for 5 minutes, and I'll give you a heads up if we're at about a minute left.
Okay, so the timer starts at the presentation, or we should introduce ourselves first?
Yeah, I'll start it when you do the presentation, so you can do an intro if you'd like.
Okay. Would you like to go, Mark?
Sure. Mark Bolduc. I've worked with Jerry for several years. Probably learned most of what I know from blockchain, other than the development side of things, from Jerry. I work with Jerry closely also at the Fledge, Jerry's organization. And I do a lot of the development and working on the crazy ideas that we have.
Awesome, thank you.
And my name is Jerry Norris. I'm the CEO and founder of the Fledge, and my true title is Primus Inter Pares. And thinking of birds flying in a V, the bird in front is the Primus Inter Pares, and when it gets tired, it falls back, and somebody else comes to the lead. So we're organized as kind of decentral, and we'll talk about that a lot, and it's important to us. And then obviously the other people on the team, Matt Zarka and Shannon Norris, they're both standing in front of me here. Shannon is a teacher and the executive director of the Fledge Foundation, and Matt is he's a small business owner that was into jewelry and pawning and gold and silver, and really caught the fever of the blockchain and crypto, and is shifting everything he does to that. So he does a lot of work in our tokenomics. Shannon does a lot of work in our education and teaching. And then our real team is the DAO. And we're actually presenting tonight in front of 9 youth teams who are entrepreneurs. So we're in an entrepreneurial cohort that we're running for them. So I do have a bigger crowd in front of us too, of stakeholders and members of the DAO.
Great, thank you. Alrighty, if you feel ready to present, just let me know and I'll start the presentation, start the timer, and then we'll go to the Q&A after.
All right, so I'm going to hit the present now button, and hopefully all my tech is going to work out just swimmingly.
Sounds good.
So does that look okay to you?
Yes. Oh,
right.
Now it's gone. I could see it for a moment there. Okay, it's back.
It's good?
Yes.
All right, so I'm letting the crowd look at my second screen, so I'm just gonna pitch and come back to you guys in a minute, okay? All right, you ready?
Go for it.
All right, my name is Jerry Norris, and I am the founder and CEO of the Fledge. The Fledge is a radically inclusive ideation, makerspace, incubator, and accelerator, and our mission is to create opportunity to pursue happiness. What we really do is we fight poverty with entrepreneurialism. Since the beginning, we have been on a crypto journey. Actually, a little bit before, I was building a food safety system for Dubai municipality. My company was hired out of the US, and I was trying to transfer money from Dubai to the US really cheap, and I was looking for a Bitcoin ATM. That brought crypto into my life, and we were the first person to have a Bitcoin ATM, and we've gone all the way to a PFP NFT project that we have. And through that journey, we've seen the crimes that people have tried to commit. We've seen the scams that have been happening. And we have seen the predators, not just in the crypto system, but in the financial systems that kind of prey on the poor around here. We've also noticed that the people building, owning, and managing the current crypto ecosystem don't always look like us, and their bank accounts are much different than us. So we see those as some of the problems that we have to solve, and our solution involves a common good, and that common good means a radically inclusive future economic system that is equitable for all. It means a diverse and resilient community coming together creatively to solve problems and be innovative. It means the entrepreneurial or environmental stewardship and $500,000 in assets that we are willing to manage and govern with the DAO. And crypto needs a lot of wins right now, and we think we are one of them. One of the things that we're doing is we have our own crypto, or our own coin. It is called Fledgecoin, and there are many use cases for acquiring Fledgecoin and for using Fledgecoin. Utilization and being able to acquire it easily is super important for our community. So we do bounties, we give rewards if you show up for an arraignment, we give rewards if you show up for substance use treatment, and then we have so many resources here, such as a music studio, screen printing, 3D printing, that people can use to spend their Fledgecoin. So we're trying to really trap value in our local ecosystem and make us stronger and more equitable. Our first PFP was Fledge Flies. We've earned about $2,700 for our DAO, and all of that is under the management of the DAO. Our first enterprise that spun out of our incubator, because everything we do has to do with incubation and acceleration, is Eureka 3.0 that Mark is the head of, that is basically a consultant for all things crypto. And then we see much farther than just the digital art that NFT brings to the scene right now. We've coined the phrase NFTs, and we've got a Web 3.0 site that we give people NFTs, which are trust tokens. They earn them, they cannot buy them, and this will interact with our Wise Lock, which is a smart lock, and give people access based on the trust tokens that they have. Our next project is 10,000 Fledge fractals, where we're going to sell our first 1,000 for $100. That'll raise us $100,000 in this neighborhood. We can buy a rental with that. We'll be renting that out to one of the entrepreneur fledglings that we have, and every 3 months of paying rent on time, they will get a Fledge fractal. So it is a rent-to-own model, and basically the DAO will start to manage these properties. Our innovation here is we're upside down on all of this. We already have a 12,000 square foot building that we own outright. We already have a large, diverse, and inclusive community that is doing effective things in all of the things that we want to solve for our community. And we're not trying to build this based on the NFT money. We are basically taking what we're doing and putting it on the blockchain. We have Fledgecoin, we have real equitable hope, and we have workforce and entrepreneurial development. To us, this is feasible, this is scalable, and this is regenerative. We have a goal of 10,000 Fledges around the world. That's not all controlled by us. It's controlled by DAOs that pop out of our DAOs and people that are interested in doing our model. We already have 30 of them. How does the world benefit from this? When we have diversity, we have a bigger brain. We have different ways of looking at our problems. And if that is what is building our future economy, our future monetary systems, then it's not going to prey on the poor people, the people that are in poverty, the perfect people who I've lived around my entire life that are in the poverty and under the Alice threshold. So now I've got my team. Now we'll answer questions. And thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Jerry and Mark, thank you so much. This is fascinating, and actually, one of the things that's helpful is we're super excited about a lot of the ways that new coins can be community coins and help out the community. So related to that, I am curious how much you think about working within or partnering with like local governments or economic development zones or things like that versus doing this really independently.
Yeah, so right now I am a consultant for the Lansing Economic Area Partnership. We work with economic development. I've given presentations like this to them, many other businesses in the area. I've got a county commissioner somewhere in the crowd out here right now, and we are thinking about that constantly. In different ways. We've got grants that come in from the city. We're always putting the DAO perspective in it and putting things on the blockchain and teaching them how transparent that can be so they can see the balances and where the money or the different coins are flowing. So we think about governance and we think about sovereignty all of the time, and we have a close relationship with our city council, our mayor, our county government, and our economic development people.
So thank you, Jerry and Mark. I love that your solution really applies to the community. One of the things that I heard, though, if I wasn't mistaken, was that you own outright a 12,000 square foot facility.
Yes.
And so maybe Dominique kind of brought this up in her question. I'm curious, was that acquired or enabled via government grants? Because it seems like that may be potentially, that infrastructure may be potentially necessary as this model scales for others. And so how would people acquire a similar type of infrastructure to be able to enable this?
Yes, coming into the end of the payments, we had a balloon payment that they did help us with, but we sustained and paid for this for 7 years. Based on the revenue models that we had from our music studios, the event space that we did, or that we have here. So we've been generating revenue from the beginning, and I had some investment from the software company that I sold before that had built the Dubai food safety stuff, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to take up too much of our time. And so I do see what you're saying, that as we start to scale, that it would take a lot of effort to acquire a building like this, but we think that we have the model to do that. We have the model that has been successful. We did get this building for a very good price, and it is an obsolete church, and we're seeing there's at least 5 other organizations that are following that model in Lansing right now and being successful. We also have partners in Flint, Detroit, Grand Rapids, San Diego, Lima, Ohio. I can name 30 cities if you give me the time that are also trying efforts like this. So there is a startup inertia there. We understand that, and that's part of what our regenerative model is to try to generate enough to give people seeds to start.
Thank you.
And I wish I had a magic bullet where I could get everybody going at once, but I don't.
Me too. Barry, it's Darren on the CoinBase side. Kind of continuing on the thread from Dominique and Neil, I'm really curious how you see this scaling, like how do you see the Fledge scaling? And I would just love to learn more also about like the Fledge and the community that you serve and some of the outcomes that you've seen just by doing all of the programming that you have. It seems like you have everything from a studio to community center to a building. It's like all encompassing. So I'm just really curious who you serve, the outcomes, and then also the scale.
Okay. You have to come visit us to get the true answer, because I cannot explain it even if I had an hour right now. We are radically inclusive, and what that means to us is if my back is to the door, no matter whoever walks through that door and says, "Can I?" I'm saying yes as I'm turning around and before they say that. And what that does for us is it lays down a series of fractals of different things that people want to do, and I say yes to everything. So whether it is a a rap show, or we got to get a 3D printer, or it's a jazz show, or it's comedy, or it's a workshop for something, or it's a psychedelic organization, whatever it is, we say yes to everything. And what that does is create a welcoming and really inclusive environment, and that inclusive creates a diversity that then gives us those angles that we need to be innovative and to be problem solvers. So if you ask us who our crowd is, it is dominated by females, about 65% females. It is people of color above the 50% line, and we are in a neighborhood that is in persistent poverty. 40 years of more than 20% of us living in poverty. 43% of us live below the ALICE threshold. 50% of the homes in Lansing are rentals. And this is the city that raised me. And there's a certain passion that goes with that. And so if you want to see my crowd, I'll turn the camera, and I don't know how you want me to describe them, but this is a bunch of competent people.
Just feel it, and like obviously just so much love and appreciation for all the community leaders and ambassadors out there who are really core and stick to the roots and are building for the community. I don't know if it's easy for you to turn the camera around. I don't want you to have to try and, break anything to see it, but it is amazing to...
But we'd love to see it.
Yeah, we'd love to see it. Hello, everyone.
Hello. This is dominated by our kids who are here tonight. But these are Lansing School District kids. And I'm sorry, kids, if you don't know this statistic, but if you are a kid in Lansing, Michigan, you have a 50% chance of living in poverty. And you are almost guaranteed to live check to check.
Wow, that is powerful. I'm just excited about the outlook for the Fledge, because it just seems like such a strong community.
And I do want to say one thing about scalability. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one in this city. I'm not the only one in Flint. I'm not the only one in Detroit that sees these paths of using crypto to fund things, to use blockchain technologies to manage community investment trust and things like that. I'm all over the place. I am not unique.
Well, every community is lucky to have a Jerry out there who's willing to be a leader, and all of that. I don't have any particular questions. I'm just, overall enthused about the Pledge.
Yeah, thank you for hopping on with us. Our team has been reading through some of these entries and been waiting to put faces and names, so it's exciting to have you guys here and see the enthusiasm you brought to this whole presentation, so thank you.
Thank you all so much.
You're welcome.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah,
Did you
so
want what? Did you want clarification of what the Fledge is? I'm sorry, I was having trouble hearing.
No, I think we're okay.
Okay.
yeah, I think what I was going to say, Jerry, is I'll reach out to you guys and ask if you'd like to share your presentation with us, and I'll share that with all the judges so they can go back and look through it if they wish. But then if you guys keep an eye out until the winner's announcement date, that's when we'll share out the final rankings for the challenge. But just thank you so much for all of your time, and you're welcome to reach out to me with any questions.
All right, so send you the PowerPoint? Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd
Okay.
be great.
I will.
Great. Thank you all. Thanks, Pledge team.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.